All right, so a few days ago, I was chatting with one of my friends. She was feeling a bit down in the dumps, as if she was falling behind in life and not living a life she particularly loved. We spent about an hour discussing this and going through a step-by-step method on how to, unscrew her life. At the end of the conversation, she found it very valuable. I got a message from her the following day saying it was really helpful. Since then, she felt like she had her life a bit more together. I want to share some of those strategies here because I get a lot of messages and emails from people who watch my stuff and are struggling in certain areas of their lives. Now, I'm not a therapist and I don't pretend to be one. My shtick is not to dive into people's childhood trauma and all that. That's what therapists are for. I see myself more as a coach. A therapist focuses on the past and tries to figure out why you are the way you are. But a coach looks at where you are now and helps you set up for a brighter future. So, here's some of what we discussed. The first question I asked my friend, let's call her Jane, was, what would a life that you love look like? She wasn't sure at first, so I asked her to describe an ideal day. We opened up a Google Calendar and sketched it out. She said she'd like to wake up at 5 a.m. because she'd read Robin Sharma's The 5 a.m. Club and wanted to be a morning person but couldn't manage it. I suggested she stop worrying about what others thought or what a life guru advised and instead wake up at a time that felt right for her. She chose 8 a.m. Next, I asked what she'd do for the first hour of her day. She wanted to do her morning routine, brush her teeth, and walk her dog. We blocked out 8 to 10 a.m. for this. Then, she planned to work from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., have lunch, and another walk from 1 to 2:30 p.m., and then work until 6 p.m. In the evenings, she wanted to work on personal projects, like starting a YouTube channel. By writing this down, she found clarity and realized it was achievable. Next, I asked Jane what was stopping her from living this ideal day. She said she scrolled on her phone in the morning and at night, which prevented her from going to bed on time. I suggested she download an app called Opal, which blocks distracting apps. Right then and there, she downloaded Opal and set it to block social media apps from 9 p.m. to 10 a.m. the following morning. Taking immediate action is crucial. If Jane had waited to download Opal, she might never have done it. The idea is to nudge our behavior toward what we want, not to rely solely on willpower. A few days later, Jane told me she hadn't scrolled at all, which freed up a lot of her time. Another key part of thriving is continuous learning and progress, which is why I'm a fan of Skillshare. They offer thousands of classes on various topics. One of my favorites is by Nathaniel Drew, called How to Speak Confidently on Camera. It's been very helpful for me personally. So, after creating a routine and an ideal day, I asked Jane to define her ideal week. We went through each day, deciding what she'd do. For example, she wanted to spend time with friends on Wednesday evenings, do something with family on Saturday afternoons, and take yoga classes on Tuesday and Thursday evenings. This exercise helped Jane see that her ideal week was achievable. I asked her how she'd feel if most weeks followed this ideal structure, and she said she'd be much happier. It's essential to have a compelling vision of the future to drive toward. This vision doesn't have to be grand. It can be as simple as defining your ideal week. Once you have this vision, you can work toward it step by step. For Jane, we started with small steps. She downloaded Opal, which created momentum and a sense of achievement. Small steps generate momentum, which leads to motivation. If you feel overwhelmed, start small. Identify one small and one big action step to take each week. For example, a small step for Jane was downloading Opal. A big step could be waking up earlier. This keystone habit can lead to other positive changes, like going to bed on time and having more energy during the day. Momentum leads to motivation, not the other way around. Taking small steps and experiencing wins generates motivation, creating a virtuous cycle of positive change. By starting small and building momentum, you can make significant changes in your life over time.